Sure. Yeah, no question. It's a great question that people ask about the installation of the Align product, the Align technology. And it's even more important now that it's spread across, three specific product lines. You have the Tour Velvet, you got the MCC Classic, and then you have the MCC Plus 4. So here we go, Tour Velvet, MCC Classic, and then the MCC Plus 4. And I also brought a traditional reminder rib here to illustrate why it's easier to install the Align technology versus the traditional grip with a reminder rib. And the reminder rib on the traditional grip obviously is on the inside of the grip, and it's pushing through this material wall. So this is the back of the grip, and you can see that, well, actually you can't see this because it's free state, but the rib is on the inside of here. So there's like a flat of extra material, a linear bead that's on the inside of this grip. And if you took this grip and you looked on the inside, pointed up at a light and looked at it, you could see that strip that's on the inside. And what happens, the mechanics of activating that internal rib on a classical reminder grip is when you install it on a shaft, it pushes up against the shaft, against that bead, and it bumps out that reminder rib, that internal reminder rib, and you can feel it. Now I say you can feel it, but you cannot see it. So it was always very important with the traditional reminder grips to have the person that you're installing these grips for to be present at the installation to make sure that it's straight for them, because what's straight to the installer might not be straight to the person that wanted these installed. And certainly we've seen through the years, especially with tour players, that a lot of these guys might customize how that internal reminder rib is presented on the outside of the grip. They might want to position it a little bit, at like 7 o'clock, and up here it's going a little bit, to the left. So, it marries up to how they actually place their hands on that grip. But again, you could never see if that reminder rib is straight on a traditional grip. You could only feel it. And even though you thought it might be straight, if you actually kind of had an x-ray machine and you looked at it, you'd probably notice that it's probably swimming all over the place. And that's the beauty of the Align technology. Not only is it on the inside of the grip now punching out, but now there's a dedicated piece of rubber that's on the outside of the grip. And it's visual now. You can see it. This is actually a dedicated piece of rubber that's firmer. So once you install this, it's bumping out, and it's a different feel versus the surrounding material. But anyway, when you install this, you can actually see exactly where this reminder is, the Align technology. It's straight. And we'll install one in a second, but I always tell people there's a couple ways to install these. And just so everybody knows, that Align technology is located exactly underneath the forward-facing Golf Pride logo and the Align logo on the top. So we've always had some alignment ticks on this grip for installation. So there's one up here near the end cap, and we call these internally like the double lines and connector, or dual lines. It's simply a couple of parallel lines with a little alignment tick right there, that's going horizontal. But it's at the mouth of the grip as well. So the idea here is when you install this, you're looking at a square club face, and you make sure that this alignment tick measures up with the logo, measures up with the alignment tick at the mouth of the grip. And all of that is perpendicular to a square club face. So it's really important to make sure that the club is put into the vise square. That's key, okay? That's the first part of this equation. Then you install this thing, and like I said, the Align technology is located directly underneath all of the trade dress and logos and alignment ticks on the front of the grip. So when you turn it over, it should be straight. But the beauty of putting this thing on, with two-sided tape and mineral spirits, is that it allows you some time to actually adjust this. So it's not like for example, if you blow a grip on, it's difficult to make sure that this is straight because you're hitting it with just some small bursts of air. It's a friction fit, but it's jumping all over the place. You can't adjust it with an air install. So I tell people, listen, use mineral spirits or some grip solution and some two-sided tape, because that's the thing with the guys on tour. None of those guys out there are using air install. They don't do that. I mean, they want to make sure that that grip is very secure, and the only way you can guarantee that is with some two-sided tape and some grip solution. I'm just telling what the guys on tour do, and that's what we do here at Golf Pride as well. So I'm going to go ahead and install this, and then I'm going to actually flip it over when it's done, and I'll put it in the vise upside down, and you can see that I can really adjust this to make sure that it's linear, that it's straight. It's a piece of cake. So here we go. So just putting some mineral spirits on here. Make sure you use enough, be liberal with that. And squirt some on the inside of the grip. Make sure that your finger's over the blowhole in the end cap, or it'll drip all over the place. Just gonna swish it around here. I just coat the outside of this. All right, so here we go. Boom. Okay, so the club face is in there straight. I made sure that the grip is seated. I felt the shaft go up against the end cap. Okay, so again, I'm making sure that the alignment tick and the trade dress logos here, 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 and here are all linear and they're perpendicular to a square face, and that looks good. So like I said, all of this lines up directly underneath with the align technology in the back, so this should be pretty straight once I turn it over. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. Okay. There we go. This is upside down now. And now, you know, I actually kind of get down here and I look at this like it's a scope or something. And I close one eye almost like I'm, you know, plumb bobbing a putt or something. And you can really see that this thing is just laser straight. And you can tweak it a little bit here and there because there's mineral spirits. It hasn't set yet. But everything just lines up perfectly straight. There's no movement at all. Everything. Totally linear. So you're done. So now you just want to take it out and give it a quick tap to make sure that it's seated correctly. You wipe it off. And you just want to let this thing sit for a couple hours minimum, right? You don't want to chance this thing moving on you. Preferably overnight, but you can let it sit for a couple hours. Should be good to go. And I'll always give it kind of one other thing like this, where I'll be kind of looking at it, look at it, down like a scope or something to make sure it's linear. And this is completely linear, but it's as easy as that. And like I said, with the traditional rib, you'd be looking at it like this, where you can't see anything. You can only feel it. So that's why the align technology is beautiful, because everything lines up. You can actually see it's visual. Not only can you feel it, but you can see it, and you know that it's straight.